What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Trench Warfare Film Room. I'm your host, Brandon Thorne. This week, we're going to be watching 3 first-round rookie offensive tackles and going in-depth on their performance of the week. First, we're going to start here with Rashawn Slater against the Ravens, and then go to Christian Darrisaw in his first career start against the Panthers. And then we'll finish up and end with Penei Sewell in what might be his last game at left tackle before he moves over to the right side with Taylor Decker's return. And they faced the Bengals. So we're going to go through all these pretty in-depth for you guys, and hopefully you enjoy it. But let's just get right into it. We're going to talk about Rashawn Slater, who I thought was the most impressive rookie of the week. And he's pretty much been the best rookie of the season on the offensive line, at least. But we'll go into this. It was another very impressive performance from him, if not his best performance of the season. I think it probably was. He really lost one clean rep the whole game. And then there was a few others where you could see some things he could have done a little bit better. But we'll just go right into it here. And this rep right here was notable against Owe here. So we're going to start off with his reps against another rookie. In Owe here, Ravens edge rusher, who's really impressive this season, considering his expectations weren't, I don't think, as high for him to make an impact this quickly, I don't think. I mean, he obviously, you look at his mock draftable, his athletic tools are obvious. He's maybe the freakiest athlete in the NFL just from a pure, raw athletic ability standpoint and size as well. But he's much more refined and getting better quickly than I think many expected. But Slater, really performed well against him in this game. But this rep right here, this angle, primarily we're going to be doing end zone stuff, but this sideline copy really shows it well. So this is Slater just, kind of setting patient here inside out on Owe. He has the chip here, so I think that's part of what he's doing here. Little play action fake. And you're going to see Justin Houston out here, who had his way with right tackle Storm Norton in this game, which has to be expected. Justin Houston's one of the most crafty edge rushers in the league, and Storm Norton is a backup. But gets the corner pretty quick right here and forces Herbert to kind of step into Slater, who's in a good position here. So it might look like, oh, Slater got pushed back into the quarterback, but not really, because look, he makes real full contact right here and then just takes really one simple little step back in his anchor. So he's in a good position, and he probably feels right here the quarterback, basically on his back, and Owe is trying to reach over to get the ball, doesn't get it, and then look at Slater just kind of turn on the jets and finish him on his back. So we'll look at it full speed again here, and I think this is just a nice rep from Slater, playing to his help, knowing the quarterback's drop, being in a good position, establishing good leverage, and then finishing Owe. So good rep there from him. And so right here, this is one of the other reps where I think you can get on Slater a little bit here, and just from Owe's perspective, a nice job. So he's really just going a little stutter bull rush right here, right? So right before contact, a little stutter, just to get him to get his kind of pause right there, and then look at him establish first meaningful contact on Slater, using his length well. You can just see him kind of get him on his heels and then drive him into the quarterback. Slater is still in a good position. He doesn't anchor maybe as quickly as you would want here. Herbert's still able to get off the ball clean, but nonetheless, it's, you probably give the edge to Owe here, but Slater still, he manages to, do enough. But that's kind of one of those things you could see here. Look at the position that Slater has on Owe up there. He's locking him up right there. Like I said, he got drove back a little too far, but he's in really good position, and he anchored eventually. But that's one of the things with Slater on tape that, was a little bit concerning on his Northwestern tape in college is, the length thing, it could get overplayed, and it has, I think, with him, but it creeps up. When you got a guy like Owe, who's the prototypical kind of guy, who could use superior length and, time it up well and things like that. He can get into his chest a little early and kind of control the rep more than you would want ideally. But Slater has a lot of crafty ways to kind of get out of these situations as well. He just couldn't do it on this rep. But nonetheless, pretty good rep there from Owe. So you see it again right here. Slater does a really nice job of anchoring on this one. Still basically the exact same move, right? Except Owe doesn't really get as much extension here. And Slater, uses his hands well. And then look at him, extend those hips and just really shut him down right there to allow Herbert to get off another clean pass, and this time in a better position. But Slater is very strong, and he's stronger than Owe. And you could see that in this game play out. But Rashawn Slater's play strength, I think, is really good. And I think it serves him well in his game in a lot of areas, but really his anchor. When he's able to get good position on guys, he's really able to strain and, dig his cleats in the ground, root his feet, and anchor quickly. So I think he did a pretty nice job there. This is just one of those things that you see consistently from Slater, and we'll talk about it here at the top of the drop. So, good hand position here, and then once Owe realizes that corner is shut down, he's trying to spin back inside, and this is where Slater really shines because his weight distribution is so good throughout his pass set up the arc. He's able to just kind of redirect easily and cut it off there. Owe does a really nice job of spinning back at the top of the drop. He's very aware of where the quarterback is dropping, and he does a nice job of not flying past the quarterback, and we'll see that play out more. But that was a good job by Slater to stay inside out on him, for a good length of time and just really show really good balance and awareness as well. So that was a good rep there. So again, Owe at the top there does a nice job of spinning inside, but this was a really good job by Slater, in my opinion, here. So you can also notice that Herbert drifts into Slater. If he didn't do that, if he wasn't forced to do that by Calais right here, you can see Calais right there, beat the right guard pretty clean and kind of force Herbert to step over, then I think Slater wins this rep hands down. But watch Slater here from the beginning. So really good contact here with that outside hand. There. You see him just jolt his head back, and then he's not too heavy on his hands. He can strike with power, but he doesn't overextend. So that speaks to his posture, which is huge in pass protection, and just his balance, really, his center of gravity. So you would think with the strike that powerful that he has a chance to overextend, because Owe's going to swipe 2 times right here. So first swipe, he swipes it off, but look at Slater's position. This is brilliant right here. Resets and gets good leverage again on him, and then, if you saw that double swipe here, swipe, and then Slater is still just right in front of him. And then right here, good spin inside, but Slater's right there. And it looks like Owe gets him a little bit here, but you have to keep in mind with what the quarterback did to put himself in that position, right? So Slater, really impressive job on that rep. So we got a play action rep here. Again, you can really just see kind of his play strength. So he's kind of setting out to him here and then just waiting for him, to come into him. He's trying to go inside right here, and look at Slater's inside hand. Just get up on him right there and then just sit down in his anchor. Makes it look easy there. Just a nice rep on play action. Look at that pocket for Herbert. Beautiful. Kind of locks him up there. Here we go. Owe tries to go inside. Little double swipe inside. Slater just cuts it off. And this is just because Slater's in good position, right? I mean, he doesn't overset. He's playing inside out. Good relationship on the rusher. He's in position to just strike with that inside hand. Power step, cut it off. And then just kind of strain right there. Just kind of carry him up the arc a little bit. But he's just in such good position. You could see this is kind of a good pause point right here. You could see the jump that Slater gets out of his stance, the snap timing. He's the first one moving. And Owe, you could see the jump he gets, right? I mean, that's what makes this battle so intriguing and so fun to watch between these two rookies. This right here is just such an impressive rep. This is a good rush from Owe right here to kind of shoot his hands inside right here and then go upfield and then read that and try to get inside. But look at Slater's inside hand and that balance. That might be my favorite rep of the game. Just because I think a lot of tackles would get beat right here, or they would get put off balance, quite a bit more than Slater is. But the recovery right there, man, we've seen some very impressive reps on tape this year of Rashawn Slater demonstrating the ability to recover in a way that, is usually reserved for elite tackles. And this is a good example here. Just really good balance to cut that off inside and anchor and just let Herbert get it off clean. We'll go to the run game here. I mean, you could just see this is the play strength thing right here and just how much stronger Slater is than Owe. Look at him get up on him, and then look at Owe try to get off, but he just has no chance. And I think this is the same play. Yeah, I just wanted to show it from the sideline as well, but we can see it from the coach's angle here. So it's really, it's just like an angle drive kick out kind of block, right? But look, really good strike there. Up under, gets that latch, and look at him latch and just end that rep right there. Just kind of overwhelm him at the point of attack, right? He can't get off right there. And that's just where you can really see Slater's strength, kind of shine. And now we're going to go to, I believe, 3 reps against Justin Houston. These are, I think, the only 3 reps he had against him in the game. Houston primarily rushes over the right tackle, but he'll switch periodically. And, these first 2 Slater gets Houston, gets in good position here, beats him to the spot, and, just in position to cut off that inside move. Anchor, good rep there. Uses a little flash here. This is nice. Slater hasn't used the flash as much as he did early in the year, and he does a nice job of mixing it up, right? I mean, he doesn't use the flash. What was it, against Dallas when I did that film room, if you saw that one? He was using the flash a lot. This game, I think this is the first and only time he did it. He may have did it one more time, but uses the flash and then strikes. Does a nice job here. You just see him in his set, just good balance, gets to the spot. Just a nice rep to carry him up the arc. And I mean, he's on an island, and look at how deep Herbert gets too here. I mean, Herbert's at, 9.5, almost 10, and Slater's right there. I mean, that's a good rep. And, this one right here, I think Slater would probably want to have back, but I mean, Houston is just, he is so crafty, man. I mean, he's like a martial artist out there with how he sets up his moves and what he does with his hands. So he's in a tight alignment right here, right? Kind of like a tilt, like a tilted 5 technique, maybe a ghost 7. He's just a little bit tighter right here, right? This look, is just kind of a classic Wink Martindale look. Double A gap mug, 2-3 techniques, 2-5 techniques, ghost 7 techniques, whatever you want to call them. And Houston's in really good position from the jump to win inside. And you see it right here. He's going to shoot his hands like he's just going to go and just kind of cover him up, man him up, and then look at him just cross his face. And I believe right there they look at Houston get up and just kind of call, want the holding call. He gets it. They call Slater on this right here. But, I mean, that's a clean win for Houston. That's really the only time Slater lost clean in the game is against, their best pass rusher. But yeah, just a really good job from Houston to set that up. It's a tough alignment as well because, it's very easy to overset that. But look at just kind of that little cat and mouse game right here. Slater just kind of just misreads it, and Houston sets it up nicely and just clears him. Does a really nice job. So we'll get into some reps against just some miscellaneous guys here. We'll get a couple against Calais. But look at this guy. This guy's trying to win inside, right? Gives him a little stutter. And Slater just cuts it off with that inside hand. I like this one. Just providing that, physical help right here on the slide. Nice. Here we go. A couple against Calais. So obviously Calais has the length advantage, right? We're going to see how maybe the length discussion gets overblown a little bit, and ways to circumvent it as a blocker if you are at a disadvantage with length. So Campbell right here is just going to try to press him off, right? But look at Slater still maintain that latch and just anchor a little bit right there. And you can just see he's in a good position. There's going to be a better rep that will illustrate that as well. I think this is Bowser right here, just going straight bull, which Slater just, handles that one with ease. But he does it with ease because of how quickly he gets to his spot, right? Really good jump. And look, he's getting to his spot. And that step right there, that just puts him in a great position to anchor. He makes it look easy, but it's really not that easy of a rep. Just locks him up right here. Slater's just so good about, look, he almost kind of, could get him on his heels right here, right? Right there. But look at Slater just recover, keep him at his fingertips, and lock him down. Look at this rep against Calais. This is really impressive. Just a nice job. His center of gravity is so good. And he's just always in good position. Look at this, man. Again, this just kind of speaks to what I was talking about earlier at the top of drops. So right here, he's trying to spin back inside, but look at Slater just cut that off, man. He's in such good position at the top of drops. And that keeps quarterbacks clean late, right? That's such I think an overlooked skill and ability of offensive tackles, especially just at the top of drops. I'm watching a lot of college tape right now, and you see consistently the majority of guys I'm watching at the top of drops, man, they're just in bad positions. They're off balance. And, conversely, look at the right tackle, top of drop. Shoots his hands, it gets beat clean. I mean, you're kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum here in tackle play. But nonetheless, the top of drops are where a lot of guys are vulnerable. Slater's just very clean there. All right, so let's go into Christian Darrisaw here. First start of the year. Tough competition, right? I mean, Brian Burns is who we saw most of the time. You saw a lot of Hassan Reddick. You could see right here at the 2-point on the opposite side. They're going to be in wide nines almost the whole game. Carolina, that is. So with that kind of backdrop in mind, I think that the Vikings' approach offensively really did a great job of helping Darrisaw. And you'll see what I mean here. They really set him up for success in his first start and made his job a lot easier in many ways. So we'll get right into it and just see what that looks like. So this is a perfect example right here. Look at where the ball is. Okay, so where Cousins is right now, that's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Let's see where his back foot hits. 8 yards, gone. That was the theme of the game. 8 yards and in, ball is out. That just makes the job of offensive tackles that much easier. The whole offensive line, really, but really offensive tackles, because you don't have to protect your edges up to 9, 10, 11 yards, which is, happens a lot more than you may think. So the best way to circumvent and counter what Burns and Reddick do, they're speed rushers lining up wide who want to attack an offensive tackle's edge. Right? They want to get to his outside half and they want to bend the corner and apply pressure. So the best way to counter that, don't drop deep, let your tackles play inside out, and that plays into Darrisaw's strength because he is a big dude. I mean, look at this guy on tape. I mean, I think my comp for him when I studied him at Virginia Tech was Deion Dawkins, and a lot of it was because of his physical attributes. But he's just a big dude. He's laid out of his stance right here. But it doesn't matter because of Cousins' position. Look at, he loses the corner at 8.5 yards? I mean, he's beat. Doesn't even matter. That was kind of the common theme in this game. So while you may, I've seen a lot of people tag me on Twitter already saying his grade in pass protection was better than run blocking. I don't know the ins and outs of how he's graded and all that stuff, but I disagree with a lot of kind of the narratives that I see come from the grades. And, I don't think he was very clean in pass protection in this game. There was just, he got helped a lot. He did some really nice things as well. I don't want to say he was bad at all. It was, I think, overall a solid, maybe, at best game. But it was his first start as well. He's going to get better. I liked him. I gave him a first-round grade, So, I thought he was a good player for sure. But there's a lot of context that we're going to break down. So didn't mean to spend too much time on that rep, but I just really wanted to kind of set the backdrop here of what we're going to see. So again, laid out of his stance, gets beat to the edge. Doesn't matter because the ball's out. Look at this. Look at how shallow Cousins is. I mean, this is a tackle's best friend right here. Back foot is at 7 yards. He's at 6.5 right now. Throws it at 6. Darrisaw's beat. Doesn't even matter. This is 97, right? Has a little tight end alignment help right here. Look, he just gets pulled. Pull, rip. The guy has the corner one at like 8.5 yards, right there. That's probably 8. Yeah, that's 8. I mean, 8.5 yards. He's beat. It doesn't matter. Ball's gone. So 2 reps, right there. Darrisaw has a soft edge, and we're going to talk about why. I think it's just because his footwork right now, out of his stance, he kind of has like a little bit of a hitch, and it limits his range. But the Vikings did a really nice job of just countering that and just making it not matter. So again, loses the edge at about 8.5. In a lot of schemes, that's a sack. We're going to watch Penei Sewell. They did not help him like this at all. But good job by Kirk. I mean, he was on time this game, pretty much the entire game. So again, I mean, the run game is where Darrisaw was most impressive at Virginia Tech, and that's where he was most impressive in this game. Look at him just engulf Hassan Reddick, who he's much bigger than, obviously, and his hands aren't perfect here, but on this little front side block, I mean, look at that. You'd like him to keep his feet underneath him and really just drive a little bit more. He gets kind of pulled down by the head right here by Reddick, but I mean, that block is won. That's him right there. He won that rep for sure. You could just see that right there. He just makes guys look small and weak. And Hassan Reddick is small. I mean, for just, playing on the line and everything. So you'd want to see guys do this, but it's just a nice box to check. So, we'll see that kind of, more in this game. Look at this. Darrisaw beat. Overset. Doesn't matter. Look at the ball. Look at Kirk. Where is he? He's at 6 yards. I mean, that is very, very shallow. The ball is out. I mean, this is quick game. Boom. When you're that precise and that, that rhythmic as a quarterback, it doesn't even really matter who's blocking for you a lot of the time. Just boom, ball's gone. But we're looking at process over results, right? So from Darrisaw's standpoint, he oversets and gets beat inside. That's his 3rd loss. If you're looking at process over results, really. I mean, just things he can clean up, right? This is a good rep here. So let's see where Kirk is again, though, just for context, right? 8 yards, steps up to 7, ball gone. Shallow again. But Darrisaw does a nice job getting to his spot, and he doesn't have to worry about his edge right here, right? The rusher has to stop and try to go back inside because of the quarterback's position. If he dropped a little deep right here, Darrisaw might lose this. Look at Darrisaw. He's off balance right there. But because the rusher goes inside, it doesn't matter. Look at the timing of this. I mean, O'Neal out here gets dusted by the spin. Doesn't even matter, though, right? Ball's gone. But let's look at Darrisaw here. So see, look at his foot right here. His outside foot, step up. That's kind of like a hitch, right? That's when you're facing wide 9 guys who really have some legit speed, this can pose a threat to you because that first step isn't really gaining any ground necessarily, and he kind of has to step under himself almost. It doesn't matter again because of the quarterback and how quickly he's getting the ball out. And, the rusher can't attack his edge, but you can see right here that Reddick could probably win that edge if Kirk took another step back and was at 9. You know what I mean? So it's just like you see the vulnerabilities in Darrisaw's game that aren't being exposed because of what the quarterback is doing. And that's not to mention all the other things that the Vikings do to help offensive linemen in general. Play action, rollouts, screens. I didn't include any of those in here, but all those reps as well help him. But you can see, look at the strength there from Darrisaw. So Kirk is at 8 yards, ball gone. He has, clutches a little bit, but still he's shallow. The ball's out pretty quick, but good protection from the tackles here. You see that step again, but really good grip strength here, against Burns, who, is a speed rusher. So, it's not like he's very powerful, but nonetheless, he gets in a pretty good position and has a good anchor, good stopping power and all that, which is, exactly what you saw in college. I mean, look at Kirk right here. He's at 6 yards and the ball's gone. I mean, Darrisaw just has to get in the way just for a couple, just like a second. Good hands here, though. He's playing inside out. I mean, it's pretty easy to play inside out when your quarterback's at 6 yards, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about getting beat around the edge. So, I don't want to harp on that too much, but man, it's glaring, and it's really a testament to the Vikings and to Kirk Cousins and to putting a rookie in his first start in a great position. So kudos to them more than anything. And then look at this, just kind of this is a really good contrast right here. So the ball, let's see. So this is the deepest drop of the game right here, right? Kirk drops to 9 yards, which isn't even that deep. Let's see, 3 plus 5, 6. Yep, he's at 9, hanging out at 9. But look at what they did. Okay, so, all right, Kirk, you're going to drop deep here. You're going to get to 9 yards. Look at the help that they provide Darrisaw. He has help right there. I mean, look at that help. It forces Burns to stop so he can't attack the edge. And it puts him in Darrisaw's hands, allows him to use his strength advantage. And just a great, that's how you help a rookie tackle. This is teach tape on that so far. Once you get a deeper drop, you provide that help, squeeze Burns, put him into Darrisaw's hands. Great job. Look at Kirk's dropping deep again. Same help. Negates that that alignment of Reddick, negates his speed. He can't attack the edge. Puts him in Darrisaw's hands, and look at Darrisaw still gets beat inside. It's kind of tough to play off of a chip like that as well, so I don't want to, knock him too much. But, I mean, he, without the guard there, and, he holds him as well. See that? That's a bad position. So he gets effectively a triple team here. 2 guys helping him, and he still doesn't, really do a great job. But nonetheless, great job by the Vikings, right? So Burns is going to use his ghost right here, ghost technique. Let's see where Kirk is. Kirk's at 8 yards. Burns wins the corner at 9.5. You can see Darrisaw. I mean, this is worrisome. If you're, I'm just evaluating him, trying to be as objective as I can. I mean, I want him to succeed. He was a first-round pick for me. I think he has the athletic ability to survive, and not only survive, but actually thrive on an island. But, I mean, Burns is kind of the cream of the crop in terms of, guys testing your range as a tackle. So there's a lot to consider here. But nonetheless, I mean, that's, not the greatest rep. But, again, it doesn't matter because the ball's gone, right? But still, process over results again. Look at beat inside right here. Overset. Saved by the guard. So set points are definitely something that Darrisaw can clean up. And that's something that a lot of rookies, kind of need a time to correct, right? Because he's facing different skill sets. He's facing different alignments. So these are things that I would expect to get better. But nonetheless, these are a lot of potential losses on his part. This is a good example right here of, just that hitch in his set, but it not mattering because of Kirk being so shallow and so timely in his drop that the rusher can't attack his edge. He has to try to run through him. And if you're asking Hassan Reddick to run through Christian Darrisaw, you're doing something right? Because, I mean, look at Kirk. He's at 7.5, 8, steps up. He's like at 7 yards right here. If he's at 9 yards, Darrisaw might, it's a totally different ask for him, right? But here you're just saying you just have to get to your spot and just let this dude run into you because of where the quarterback is, right? It's not that. It might be a little bit of an oversimplification, but nonetheless, they're putting him in great positions. And you just see it over and over and over. Again, Kirk's at, where is he? Yeah, about 7 yards. Ball's out. I mean, you could put a guy in a wide 9 with great speed. Doesn't matter when the ball's here. You know, he's just going to have to try to run through a guy who's much bigger and stronger than him. Look at this one. Whew. Boy. So Kirk's only at 8 yards right here, and Burns still gets him. This is where that hitch can really bite you against elite competition, right? Hitch kind of, that's just, you know, look at how overextended Darrisaw is right there. Burns gets a great jump. Ghost beats him clean, dusts him. Should have been a sack. But, yeah, that's you can't lose any quicker than that. Granted, it's Brian Burns again, so, you know, I'm not going to hold it over Darrisaw too much, but yeah, there's a lot to be concerned about, I think. Not too concerned about, but a lot to note, a lot of things that he needs to clean up. But at the same time, he's in a great spot to do that because the Vikings do a great job making life easier for their offensive line. Look at how shallow Kirk is. This is just amazing to me. I mean, there's some. Wait till we get to the Sewell tape after this. You're really going to see why. But yeah. All right, run game. This is where Darrisaw is really going to make a difference, I believe. Look at the front side. Seals him inside just with ease. Look at that alley. Look at the alley for the runner. Drive a Mack truck through there. So this is the biggest, one of the biggest plays of the game. CJ Ham, the fullback, takes it like 30, 40 yards or whatever he does. But it's because of this double team with Darrisaw in Cleveland. Look at this. This is Derek Brown. This is where Darrisaw is really going to make his money right here. Look at this. Right off of Darrisaw's back. Right off the rookie's back. Impact felt day one. Beautiful. This is Darrisaw just showing off a little bit of that movement ability at his size, just working inside out on 24, stretch left, outside zone. He's uncovered, so he's climbing. Just knocks him out of the way, creates the alley off his back. Was that the third run off his back that we've seen? That went for significant yardage. This backside cutoff on Burns right here is just really pretty technique. All right, so we're going to go into Sewell now. All right, so Sewell in the run game, we're going to start with him in the run game. He did some really nice things in the run game, and I thought Sewell played pretty well in this game. I would imagine the grades weren't good for him in this game. He had one or two holding calls, and just a bunch of reps where if you're not looking at the quarterback, it looks like he loses clean, but we'll break it down and you'll really see the difference in how well a scheme can set up a rookie and how well it, or how it cannot. But first, let's go to really what you saw all over Sewell's tape in college. So we're going to see outside zone right here. They got a 4-eye. He's going to bump, climb, latch, inside out, drive, finish. That's what Sewell brings right there in the run game, kind of in a nutshell. His work on combos, his ability to use power. Look at him just knock that dude over, still get in position, climb. Just run it right behind the big rookie right there. Really nice rep. Look at this. Oh, man. This is almost identical to a play that he had at Oregon where it's a quick screen like this. And look at him just use that acceleration to bump Hendrickson right there. I mean, this would be impressive if he was 305 pounds. This would still be impressive. It'd be like, oh, man, nice play, man. Good quickness. Sewell's 330 pounds. I mean, this is, that is really a good illustration of what made him so special. Just that explosiveness and the twitch to get Hendrickson right there. Really nice. Look at this play. I mean, Sewell really does just kind of have like dynamite in his hands. He kind of gets that trip too, but he knocks him into the trip, right? And this is a big dude, 68. But look at this on the end around. Look at him get in position right there. That was beautiful. Look at this backside cutoff on Ogunjobi. You just really see that quickness. This is a 3 technique, very difficult block to get in this position. And he just gets in that good position right there. I mean, that's really good lateral quickness right there, and technique as well. Good cutoff. Here we go. Just sealing Ogunjobi inside. Gives him a little shove. Another backside cut right here. Backside cut off. This is on like a 2-2-I technique, really. Really impressive. All right, so we're going to really dig into him in pass protection here now. So look at this. Let's just watch this play. It's like, oh man, Hendrickson beat him to the edge, right? It's a little more complicated than that. All right, so see where the ball is. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10.5. He's at 10.5 yards. Kirk Cousins didn't get to 10.5 yards, 1 rep the entire game. So the ask right here from Sewell is much more difficult. Now imagine if his back foot stopped right here and he threw the ball from right here where he's standing right now compared to where Sewell's position is right here. Just imagine that. Imagine Goff is right here. Well, he couldn't be because that guy's getting driven back. But this is where Cousins was throwing the ball from. And look at Sewell. That's a win, right? If the quarterback is right here, that's a win. But because he's so deep, Sewell can't block that long. 99% of the tackles in the game are not going to block that long. So, I mean, what Goff is doing right here, I mean, it's just not helping your offensive lineman at all. Because Sewell's in a good position, really. I mean, but you can't expect him to protect his edge when you're at 10.5 yards. So that's kind of frustrating from a, kind of an offensive approach and just quarterback play perspective more than anything. Sewell right here against Hendrickson, one-on-one on an island. Again, he kind of, just loses the corner there a little bit, but let's see where that yardage is that he's losing. So 6, 7, 8. Let's see, hold on. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right there, Hendrickson's at 11 yards. So it doesn't really matter that Sewell loses the edge, at 11 yards. He's protecting, up till 9, 10. I mean, Sewell doesn't even need to have that hand in that position right there. He can clean that up for sure. Hendrickson's pretty good with his hands at the top right there to kind of, tuck underneath him and make it look like a hold. But Sewell's doing a good job here as far as how late in the down he's protecting and how high up the arc he's protecting right there. See, look at the difference when Goff is, shallow. He's at 8 yards, stepping up to 7. He still gets hit. I mean, which, the TE gets home early right there by Hubbard over there. But look at Sewell when he's having to block shallow. Look at that rep. Good hands, good attempt to reset right there. He has good grip strength and gets good help from the left guard. But totally different story, right? When the quarterback is in different positions, and it's just really important, I think, to consider, on every rep that you're evaluating an offensive lineman. Again, look at him. Goff's shallow here at 7 yards. Man, tackles can play all day if you're dropping to 7 yards. Look at Sewell. That's really clean. Look at his set. Just pops out of his stance. He's so light on his feet for 330. It's insane. Look at him just expand up the arc. Look at this position, recover. Just really good job. All right, so here we're going to look at another rep that's kind of frustrating from a quarterback play standpoint, right? So Goff 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's at 12 yards. There's not a tackle on earth who's going to block an above average pass rusher till 12 yards. And Sewell gets the hold. I mean, like I would just throw that hold in the trash, in terms from like an evaluation perspective on Sewell. Because, I mean, what are you asking right here? It's like if Goff was stepping up right here, Sewell would be fine. But instead, he's stepping out of the pocket. You can't do that. You can't drop to 12 yards. I mean, I'm sorry. You just can't. And then, he throws it away. It's like, ugh. Yeah, so... not putting the rookie in, a great position there, really. That's more than anything. My biggest takeaway on that one. This was Sewell's worst rep of the game, in my opinion, right here. So watch. Kind of gets knocked back right here and just gets in a bad position and reaches right there. Swiped and beat clean. And Goff isn't too deep right here at all or anything like that. I mean, he's at what was that, like 8.5, 9 yards? That's fine. And, it doesn't even matter this time because the ball's gone, but this is the rep where I would be concerned about Sewell. Just kind of losing his technique right here. He gets kind of just stabbed right there, and he just gets on his heels and then reaches. You don't need to reach right there. You got to use your feet to block him, right? And just got to kind of mirror him up the arc instead of trying to reach. You reach, I teach is that whole thing. Pass rushers will make you pay if you're going to reach in a bad position like that. So he gets beat on that one. But that was his worst rep, in my opinion, of the whole game. Good position here by Sewell. Goff is at a reasonable depth, and this is kind of the result you get when he's there. Because Sewell, Sewell's all over it right here. This is a pretty pass set. In good position, good hands, and then just really just brings those hands inside, creates that good position with his hands, and just gets good control over that block. Pushes him up the arc. This is a really good contrast to what we were talking about earlier. If Goff was more shallow, that whole idea. Look at Goff is at 9, steps up to 8. Sewell's able to push him right past the pocket. If he was where he was in those prior clips, this would have been a sack. But because the quarterback's in a reasonable spot, Sewell's able to, he gets his hand swiped, but look at him recover and just get him up the arc. And he gets him to where, 10 yards? That's a good rep. Again, right here, just very shallow, quick catch and throw pretty much. You could just see Sewell have a good anchor there. Good hand position as well. I think this is a good rep as well from Sewell. Gets to his spot, almost gets beat inside, but cuts it off and gets good help as well. And then Goff basically runs into the hit. Like, that's totally on the quarterback. If you're going to drift like this, let's see where he is. All right, so he's at 10 yards, almost 10 and a half, and he's drifting into the defensive end. Yeah, that's on him. Good rep by Sewell. All right, so now we're getting to the point in the game where it's a blowout. The Bengals are winning big, and that's a whole other thing in this game that you have to consider. The Lions were in obvious pass downs over and over and over, right? Because they're getting smashed. So that's another thing to consider for an offensive line evaluation perspective. If they're being put in positions where it's obvious pass, that just makes their job that much more difficult as well. But here we go. We got 93 now. So now we got kind of the B team in for the Bengals. He's initially in this game, 93 is going to try to win outside. He has really no chance to beat Sewell outside. We got another, I think that's maybe the last Hendrickson rep that we got here. Straight bull. Good anchor. Good job. Look at him trying to win outside. You're not going to get Sewell like that. He's going to get Sewell right here, though, I think. Look at this long arm. Nice long arm right here. This is where, the whole length discussion comes into play as well, because the offensive tackle class last year was, all of them pretty much had shorter than ideal arms. They were all like under 34 except Darrisaw. There's somebody else as well that was kind of a relatively high pick, but Sewell's at like 33 and a fourth, whatever he was. And you can see 93 established first meaningful contact, long arm him, and then Sewell's just never able to fully anchor in time. And when I saw this rep, I'm like, you know what? There's ways to combat this. If he would have trapped his arm right here, snatch trapped him, that's kind of a tool that a lot of tackles have in their back pocket that they can pull out if they're seeing a guy who has success using long arm and power against them. Just take it away before it can ever even become a thing, right? So I was like, man, if Sewell can if he could have snatched this, that would have been perfect. But nonetheless, good rep by 93. But Sewell's still in a pretty good position. He just needs to be a little bit more quick with his anchor or do something else with his hands here. Very next rep. Snatch. This is a great thing from Sewell. This is last rep, but we'll just touch on this because if you watch my film room on Sewell that I did a couple weeks ago, he got beat, I think it was by Owe. Might have been somebody else, but he got beat inside. And then the very next rep, he corrects it. Or no, it wasn't the next rep, excuse me. It was later in the game. He sees the same inside move and corrects it. So here, the very next rep, he sees the same move, corrects it. You'd love to see that from a rookie, right? He adapts, and he finds a way to defeat what he just got beat on, and he does that here. So really nice job there, and I think that's a good place to end it. Hope you guys enjoyed this film room. It's always fun to go through and really kind of go through the details and parse it through with you guys, and just hopefully you guys take something from it, and we can all have a better understanding of offensive line play together, and just kind of a better assessment of these rookies' performances. I'm excited about all of them. I liked them all. They all had first round grades for me coming out, and I'm really excited to watch their development. And I'm excited to do another one of these film rooms for you as well. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.